Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teachers Dupe. Today I have with me Jared.
How you doing?
And today we're going to start the first of a couple of Superman episodes as we go over, in this particular case, the Superman Infinite Crisis tie-in. And you said before you love Infinite Crisis. Infinite Crisis was the first event I bought on the regular off the shelf. So it's something important for both of us. But I was there when it was coming out.
Really, that's cool. I only picked up the trade, well, partly because I watched a lot of Rob from Comic Explain, and he raved about it. So I checked it out, and I was like, "Yeah, this is kick ass."
It has its flaws. It really has its flaws. But for those but it's one of those cases where the writing surpasses the flaws.
Well, it's Jeff Johns, so can you really expect that?
Yep. Well, here though we're getting Joe. What's the play about Truth, Justice, in the American Way? Kelly back on the book for this event.
I love that story. So there you go.
Yep. And basically, like another skirmish in the never-ending battle, another war, another crisis, but so different, so important. If I lose, everything dies.
I love that shot of course, he's punching reality.
Yeah. But it actually plays a part into this.
Yes.
So it begins with a blow that breaks the world. It's just a little something I thought you enjoy in it, Clark. Now, this is Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb just doing a nice little scrapbook. We don't need to read over everything here, but just look at this.
Oh, that's cool. I like how they do that.
And this is all for Golden Age Superman. Just look at that. Look at that rocket go. Clark drew this on a table napkin one night. It's the planet Krypton, where he's from, blowing up. So again, right away already, this is young Clark drawing this. Remember what I've always said the problem was with pre-crisis Superman? He had super recollection. That even as a child, he recalled everything, which always made me feel like he was never truly Clark.
Yeah, because I think you and I, as much as we disagree about Superman to a degree, we both agree that you have to respect both the Clark and the Kryptonian heritage.
Exactly. And right here, you can already tell it's why it's Golden Age. Kal-El. Not E-L, just
okay. L. Oh, yeah, that is Golden Age Clark. I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going through all this. It's giving a nice time, like hurdling skyscrapers, leap tall buildings. This was one of Ma Kent's favorite photos. Too bad her finger's in the frame. Pa Kent had to tell Clark to hide his strength or people would be afraid of him.
I wonder what movie we've seen that from.
The original. I think that's more going off of like You Were Here for a Reason.
Oh, well, that too.
Man of Steel was not out by this point, dude.
No. I'm saying what movie was inspired by, took inspiration from that moment.
I doubt it was this particular moment.
Well, it was one of the many times that John Kent has said that.
Yep. Oh, look at what a man. Ma took this photo and the next one of her boy doing some amazing thing. Good thing he didn't drop their car.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, just look at this.
This is so well done.
Champion of the oppressed.
Classic soups.
And turn out this was all from Lois. Earth 2 Lois. Like, do you like it? And all this narration, like, I took this photo. One of the earliest ones of Superman in action. He really is the greatest hero of them all. Do you like it? I don't understand how you do it. Every time I think I know how much I love you, you find a way to make me love you more. Happy anniversary, Mrs. Superman. Happy anniversary, Mr. Lane. We need some new jokes or people are going to start thinking we're old.
Oh, yeah.
That's a funny sunset.
Okay, reality. I see what's going on here.
Yep. But turns out though, this is then, if you notice from this is Earth 1 Superman in Earth 2 Superman's world.
Okay.
Or Earth Prime Superman.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. Just 1 second.
In other words, post-crisis Clark.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I got it. That makes sense.
But anyway, the sun, but yeah, the white beater.
Mm-hmm.
Like a cup on the sun rises in the west. A cup of coffee costs a nickel, and a slice of pie costs two. It ain't right. It ain't right. A man has to work for a living. He should expect his wife not to foul up his breakfast. Please, Bill, I'll fix it. Just don't hit me again. Don't talk back, you tramp, and don't cry unless you want something to cry about. A woman's work is never done. I said, stop crying. Do unto others. What do you want? Now the thing is, though, Post-Grade Superman actually did something similar, but Dan Jurgens took it a step further. Yes, he stopped the abuser, but then the abuser came back with a gun.
Well, that's gonna work against Superman.
No, Superman wasn't there.
Oh, okay, okay.
And he shot her.
Oh.
And then he said to Superman, "Why didn't you stop me? Why didn't you just kill me? And I wouldn't have done this." He was basically so drunk, but he realized after he was drunk, he's sober. He realized what he did, and he was upset to me, like, "Why didn't you just kill me?" Simple truth that that's the way the world works. And don't get tough. Tough is putting it mildly. The treatment you're going to get. The innocent are protected. The wicked are punished. You're not fighting a woman now. Now he's not literally throwing through the window, just at the wall.
By the way, I love how he's wearing the old Action Comics 1 suit.
Yep. And but it knows what he's saying. The innocent are protected, the wicked are punished. Truth. Simple. Nothing is simple. Diana killed a man. Bruce nearly killed us all. And now, Lois. Lois, what's happening to me? Where are you? Where was I? Where was I? Buster, open those poppers and listen why. Because I'm only going to say this once and how. That was the absolutely positively, without retraction, without parole, and gone way gone. Last time you'll ever stand me up for a date. Am I loud and clear? From the front row. But I think the French might need you to speak up a little bit, Lois. Why you, Louise?
By the way, I just remembered my one problem with Infinite Crisis, and this is not really mainly Infinite Crisis, more like Countdown. When Diana killed Maxwell Lord, Superman and Batman kind of disowned her, and I'm like, he was mind controlling Superman.
But in their minds, though, there should have been an alternate thing. And that was always one of my things that bothered me about Infinite Crisis, is that it was all too overly simplify their views. But at the same time, hey, Tristan and I are going to go over that eventually. We're going to go over Sacrifice.
I love that storyline so much.
Just seeing
Wonder Woman and Superman go at it.
But that was only part of it.
That was only part of it, but it was a kick-ass part of it.
Yep, this is how it goes on between us for years. And I loved every minute of it. Superman, I thought I was a goner. What timing? My mother taught me never to keep a lady waiting, Miss Lane. You stay away from me, Clark Kent. But Lois, look at the size of those mooks. I cannot bite a coward. The farce. Superman, you got my message. Those arsonists finally gave me what I've been wanting for. A hot date with you, Miss Lane. Oh, you. The say. Again, this is him going through all this through the pre-crisis era. Now, I gotta say, this is some of Chaykin's better work, because I've seen some of it, and it can be atrocious.
I agree.
I think he actually put a lot of effort into this one. You want to steal another headline from me? Here's one for free. Clark Kent, ace reporter, all washed up. Oh, come on, Lois. Now I'm going to catch cold. The fights. And finally, for the first time, why, Miss Lane, you're trembling. It's December, you dunce. I need someone to warm me up. Looks like a job for... Oh, my God. Yeah, I was thinking the same... What's wrong? But that had to wait. Pearl Harbor!
Okay, there you go.
Unprovoked and dastardly. War. Simple. Just. So he goes through all this, and it's like, there is no gray area. I'm fighting the good fight. So in a way, he is adjusting to the way things worked in this world. But then he tried, like, I can end this war now. So simple, so clear. With these two hands, I can end this war now. I will walk into Berlin and grab that coward by his collar. In Tripoli, I will wipe the smile off Mussolini's face. Hirohito then will drop his saber at the sight of me. I'll send our boys home where they belong. I'll save millions. I will sleep the sleep of the just, and no one will be betrayed. There will be no secrets. Heroes will not kill. The Spear of Destiny. That was always set up to why they never got involved.
Yeah, plus isn't that also a reference to that like Superman like magazine thing that was published a little while ago where it's like here's how Superman stops World War II. He flies to each of the countries, grabs them and brings them to the World Court.
Yeah. But
I was like that's familiar.
Yep. And then, of course, he's aware of what happened. There was nothing he could do to stop it. But he feels, I can only take comfort in two simple words. Never again. This is not my life. It's the hits. Every time he hits me, where do I go? Who can strike with such force that they shatter? Time catches up with everyone. I thought it made me look more distinguished. And you? Like you need it. I've been all over the globe, interviewing men of power from every nation. Now, this is all Earth's 1 Superman side. We'll get Earth's 2 Supermans on the next issue. Like, you make them look like children. This is not my life. But if she's here, I can make it mine. See, this is showing the importance of Lois, that even if she's here, he's going to be like, that's what's keeping him not wanting to argue, living this other life. So long as she's here, he's happy. Simple. Well, speaking of interviews, what made you find a side to sit down with me instead of your pal Clark Kent? Without secrets, because you're honest. I thank you. Some might say too honest. Clean. Good. There is no such thing. Right. Tell that to the chief. That's why I'm here and not in DC. They put the JSA on the stand, you know. This is during the anti-mask stuff. Of course, you know I'm babbling. Were you going to tell me something? Ask me again tomorrow. I have to do something. To which, now, of course, originally it was McCarthyism. They, of course, came up with an original character instead. And, of course, they're blaming them all for communism. But then what happened? I've seen firsthand what fear did to Europe. It will not happen here. Never again. It's that simple. No one moves. I hear a heart skip beats around the chamber. None louder than mine. Yeah, Superman never got involved during this.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wait a second, dude.
He just let the JSA go. Now, to be fair, that whole thing about them being wiped out was after Superman was retconned out of the history. So, to be fair, the only one who could have stood up for them was 1D or Green Lantern.
But still, I'm like, no one said, okay, guys, cool your jets.
Yeah, but then, like, how dare you? How dare you question the integrity of the men and women before you? You're poisoning this country with fear and hatred, and I will not see my nation undermined by cowards. If it will take a name to stop you, you can have mine. I am Clark Kent. I am Superman. And today, I am ashamed to be an American. I'm going to change history. Meanwhile, Metropolis, please, you can fix this. I know you can. You just need time. And believe in yourself in the way we believe in you. I love you. Oh, look at that. Different Earth, including Bizarro Lois.
I love that. Ed
Benes.
He draws my favorite women in comics.
Of course, he's also notorious for always doing the showing the ass and yet bent over so you can see their rack too poses.
It's comic books at that point. I'm like, you know what? His drawings always look good.
By the way, this arc was called This Was Your Life. It's what it's called.
Okay.
Krypton, a place of wonderment and dream. Notice I'm going for a slightly different voice. A cold and barren planet ruled by reason. Laurel and Jor-El, my planets. A leader on the council, but ignored by lovers who broke centuries of cold tradition to a lone scientist faced with the most dire of choices. He's going over pre-crisis, burn, and birthright.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Save their only son, share their genetic material in the birthing matrix, activate the star drive, and this is madness. How can a man know where he's going if he has no clues where he came from? Madness. The world is broken.
Oh, I like how this is structured. That's actually really cool.
It only went up to this point. Afterwards, then it just felt like someone.
It would have been cool if they stuck with it, but okay, that's fine.
Yeah, fix everything. Come on, boys. It's only going to be a page one story if I live to report it. Please, Miss Lane, get back to your seat before action. Superman, Man of Steel #2.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I read this issue.
What? You did that on purpose. Actually, Miss Lane, we didn't do anything. Dear God, something caught us. You. Who are you? How did you do that? Can I record this? And you are Lois Lane, Daily Planet, and you're the story of the century. Notice though, he's actually not running off like he did originally. because again, this is now Earth 2 Superman being in Superman Earth 1 and post-crisis Earth Superman's life. Over here, who are you? How'd you do that? Back off, Ultras. He's mine. Let him breathe. Watch this, Miss Lane. You can call me Superman. I'm here to help.
Okay, because in the Byrne story, it was Lois who gave him the name Superman. Okay, I see how this is.
But not just that, though, but he booked it before he even said anything.
Okay, that makes sense. That's cool.
Now, of course, this also tells you that Lois would have told them all to back off, which I liked. I like that.
She would have. So, yeah, it's consistent, to be honest. I like that, too.
Because remember, like I said, he took off because he was crowded.
Yeah, exactly.
So this tells you here that if he stuck around just a few minutes longer, she would have said, hey, back off. He probably would have still bolted, but like someone to, I almost feel sorry for him. How can you lead the corrupt, the broken, the sick? And where would you lead them anyway? The world is diseased. Why didn't he do anything to stop the world from dying when he had the chance? Why didn't he do anything to kill the cancer before it spread? So
I love that image of the heat vision in the bottom right panel.
So, but here's the thing. Earth 1 Superman thinks he can change the world. He's on a simpler world, and he's going to do anything he can by hoping to inspire people. Whereas Earth 2 Superman thinks, I'm going to fix all of his mistakes.
Yeah, and you saw a lot. I like how this is providing, like you said before, a lot of the context around their arguments in Infinite Crisis.
Yep. Again, the world shatters, and I go back to answer my own question. Since I read the reports of your debut, I rather expected that we cross paths and find ourselves at odds. So I devised a way to stop you. If you penetrate the force field surrounding my body, an electric signal will go out instantaneously and detonate a bomb hidden somewhere in Gotham City. The explosion will kill an innocent.
Hello, John Byrne.
Liar. Someone to lead them. It's the truth. Yes, I know it is. I can hear your heartbeat, your breathing, the electric ticks of the bomb on your belt. But innocent, is that really how you describe yourself? I may not be an optimist, but I'm not. I may be an optimist, but I'm not stupid. What's your game? No game. I want to make things better. I want to help, and I want to know if you feel the same way. Because I have a feeling that if you walk it like you talk it, there may be nothing we can't do together. Nothing I can't do except, Clark, it hurts. I'm here, Lois. Never again.
Is that cancer? Did they ever explain why Lois was
old age?
Oh, okay, old age.
It was just simply old age. Old age is something they can never cure. You can't cure old age unless you de-age them.
Yeah.
Never again will I let the ones I love be hurt by a madman. And Luther, you've gone too far this time. The kidnapping and torture of Lana Lang. How many times did he go through this, watching that monster wriggle through his finger? You're not making any sense. Why don't you have a seat? Can't talk your way out. What's happening to me? Kryptonite. Quite so. The only substance on Earth that can harm you. Tell me, how does it feel to know I have your life in my hand? It's true, I did it all, but only you and I know it. The burglary at the Kent's home, the kidnapping of the Lang woman, but you'll never connect with me. And why couldn't he do what needed to be done? He doesn't need to. I can handle that for him. He had the tools all along, and the most willing partner of all. Luther could never have stood up against the two of them if he had the stomach to do what it takes. Like, we'll have to, we have it all, Lex. Your confession aside. Collateral data that connects you to not only the Lang kidnapping, but dozens of other crimes. 50 conventions, witnesses, DNA. You're going to jail, Lex. Everything you own will be seized. You're finished. Please, you threaten me with a little jail time. I'm roughing me up, and I'm supposed to shrivel and die? No. Although that is an interesting choice of words. We're telling you all of this before the police haul you away, so you understand exactly what your situation is. Nice ring, by the way. It happens faster than we expected. The cancer consumes his body like wildfire. Without his vast scientific resources, his money, colleagues, or a lab of his own, Lex Luthor will die. But people say that terminal illness has a way of changing your perspective on life. Is it true? Are you here to gloat? No. I'm here to make you an offer. I'll say this only once, so you better listen well and think hard. I can save your life. I cannot cure the cancer you poison yourself with, but I can use the technology of my home to keep you alive and functioning for another 25 years. If, and only if, you direct your intellect to our cause, to curing the world of its ills. Anything less than complete obedience, and you wind up back in this bed until your past catches up with you again. There is no second chance. I want to live. It's better than he deserves. And the world moves on towards brighter days. You deserve better than a life of secret. If we're going to be married, my partner needs to know the truth. The truth is, I love you, Lois Lane, and I want to know if you can love all of me and being Mrs. Superman. Oh my God, you burp! Incredible. It's the same. Even a world as corrupt as this one, Lois remains constant. Does he have any idea how lucky he is? The world shatters, but this time, I had to do it, Lois. I hope you understand. These were good men and women being openly attacked by the HUAC. It couldn't stand. Someone had to stand up and say more. Day was not supposed to be like this. I made you something. I'll understand if you don't want it anymore, but I pressurized the dye myself. It's from the coal mines of Zerfan. You stinking Lou and lousy. You burp! So again?
Yeah.
I know this is not my life. I know it is in the instant we kiss, and so familiar, and yet I'm going to do my damnedest to make it mine, to do a better job in this place than he ever did. It all shatters again. Only this time, the sound of destruction does not stop. I know where I am. Now this is where it gets to the biggest, you could say it's the biggest bullshit, but I have an explanation for it. It's hell on two legs. For the first time in my long life, this or any world, I am afraid. Not because I'm going to die, because I won't finish. And I realized with crystal clarity that this is where it started to go wrong. This is where he fell and the world lost its way. When Superman dies, the heart of the world stops. No, please. Sorry. Stay down, you. Now see what I mean? He just stands up. No.
Oh my God.
They have to see. They have to know. There is no gray area. This is how we deal with monsters. We do not debate their rights. We do not consider their rehabilitation. We stop their reign of terror decisively, without compromise. The heart continues to beat, stronger than ever. The way is clear. Now, here's the thing. I always believed that when he found out, when she said he's dead, like Doomsday is he, and she said he's done. You saved us. He let himself die because there was nothing left. But if she had said he's getting up, he would have gotten up.
He would have tried to, and then conveniently, if I were writing that book, I would have had that. But then he goes back down, and then the actual Justice League shows up.
But there wasn't an actual Justice League then.
What I mean is, all of a sudden, hey, Wonder Woman would show up.
Yeah, but anyway, but still, like I said, I think that is playing off of that idea where he's not going to just let himself die. So he's standing up. He's probably on the verge of death here, but he's not going to just let death come to him.
Here's the thing. He wouldn't just stand up like that and be like, I'm basically okay now.
Oh, it's pushing it. But I'm saying it's not full on. If you looked at it the way I did, you can understand why. And plus, notice, he still has his conscience mostly in one piece here. So I think that the battle went differently.
Could be,
Anyway, another leap forward. Another crisis. Now, this is where things get wonky. Joe Kelly, the editorial, dropped the ball on this one. Okay. Because in Identity Crisis, the Dr. Light stuff happened in the past.
Okay.
But they're treating it like this happened after the deaths.
Yeah, that's not right.
Now, the event where we found out happened after the deaths.
Mm-hmm.
But not the event itself. Another crisis. Sometimes the amount of debate over what's right and what's wrong can be overwhelming. So much talk about the simplistic choice. So much unnecessary talk. And these are meant to be my allies. Incarceration, that's clearly the answer here. We've got them dead to rights. What you people are suggesting is, it's a simple spell, Green Lantern, one I'm fully prepared to cast. I don't know, Hal. Think about what this maniac did to Sue. What are we doing here? We can't even consider this. Where is the justice if we don't, Archer? This is a measured response. The Titanic can simply enter his mind and that's enough, both of you. This argument ends now. I know what happened, and I'm here with a third alternative. No discussion, no debate. This is how it should have always been and been here. In the never-ending battle, there are decisions that could have been made, decisions that he didn't have the strength to make, but I do. Where I come from, we make definitive decisions about this kind of scum. So, the big blue Boy Scout's here to make another speech. You know, I've always wondered about you. Got a girlfriend? This is how we deal with monsters. He has no idea what lies ahead. No!
Oh, the Phantom Zone. Okay, I see.
A living hell, perpetual state of punishment, both internal and external. An endless nightmare from which there is no awakening. A gift of my heritage. The Phantom Zone. The world gets older and no smarter. Quite the opposite, in fact. They don't see what I see. It's getting worse. It's inevitable that my so-called friends will plot a move against me. I don't know which one of us has been more blind. You and your refusal to adapt to a changing world, or me for following you this far down your well-intentioned path. Adapt? Is that what you call it? You've never understood, Diana. The ways of this world and this world corrupted all of reality. I've been given one chance to prevent it from happening. This time, I have to take it. You're not making any sense, Cal, and we can no longer condone your actions on blind faith alone. All these people exiled to your private hell, it's inhumane, and we cannot allow it to continue. I can see it in their eyes, the so-called complexities of this world, operating in too many shades of gray instead of black and white, and it's gotten them absolutely nowhere. You're right about one thing, we cannot continue like this. I'm disbanding your Justice League. Oh man, don't make us do this, please. I thought I knew you. And Nimbus and Paz, sleep, Superman, sleep. Zatanna! I can't speak backwards. I'm afraid I'm a few steps ahead of you, Diana, and I'm not here alone. You ain't exaggerating, love.
So Superman has contingency plans.
That's right. Which, suck it. Watch your mouth, Constantine. Sorry, Beth. Odd habit. League rules from now on. Say the word, boss. We're ready to take over. Okay. I will lead them, this Justice League, the elite, and where the imposter failed, I will succeed. I will save this world from itself. I will save my Lois.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yep. Meanwhile, it's the end of the world as we know it. Come on, can't be like that. Superman went up there. He'll cover it. Sure, Olsen. Just another day in the life. Have another one. Serious. No matter how bad it gets. Never give up on the edge. Oh, God, you're not going to start crying and singing. Hey, better watch your step. Whoa! So, yeah, he's going through that. But now, the final issue. The universe is in its death throes because of him. A version of myself from a simplistic world of black and white morality. A whimpering version of myself from a corrupt world where morals have been tossed aside like trash. The struggle between us has shattered the boundaries of space and time. Every time we connect, I'm transported to his world, living in his hell. A fractured dream, a persistent nightmare. I become him, but still in that place. I know in my heart what I'm supposed to do. His world is so innocent, so simple, yet he still let it fall, despite his so-called leadership. I will show him that leading by example enlightens those around you, brings them up. His world began to die when Superman fell against the monster Doomsday. I did not let that happen. And since then, I've guided the world through with a firm but just hand. And I have been the leader that he was unwilling to be. And I will stop the crisis that's devouring this world before it even starts. I will save them all, and he will fail.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yep, you have been found guilty. Your numerous heinous crimes against humanity, ranging from conspiracy of genocide. Why have me so confident, unafraid? What is this world? Why can't I remember? You don't have the stones. Your kind never does. We do now. May God have mercy on your souls. No! With the society members sent away this afternoon, that's over 30 metas in as many days. Not bad for a month's work. Since the United States passed legislation deeming our alternative punishment was in fact not cruel and unusual, business has been booming, wouldn't you say? Metahuman crime is down 50% internationally. The Brother Eye program is proving an unqualified success in Europe. Pity we never went public with stock in the league. We'd be rich. Hilarious. What about the integrity of the Phantom Zone? There are a few things in the universe that achieve perfection. The Phantom Zone is one of them. It rewrites the law of thermodynamics with perfect penmanship. The world is safe, as it should be, as it should be. Out of curiosity, what are you going to do when they're all gone? Maybe I'll run for president, right after you start picking off human criminals. And then anyone who disagrees with your politics, which I might add are way off in Rightyville. He's not wrong!
To a degree, yeah, Superman just went extreme right in this.
But this is a nightmare. So what do you propose? Try diplomacy one more time, and then we prepare for war. Sounds fantastic. Only I'm not sticking my neck out, or checkmates, unless I know who's standing beside me. No one should have the power that Superman wields. If the horn of Ares blows across the earth, the dot of the Themyscira will stand by your side, Mr. Lord. The thing is
a lot like Injustice.
But Lois, Wonder Woman is on the right side here.
Yeah, Wonder Woman is acting consistently with her character.
I do not sleep. I only stop to eat when Lois wants company. Instead, I work everywhere. Whenever they call, I'm there. Simple. He could have done the same. He could have ended war here. Poverty. Why didn't we eat? If you're as bored as I am, raise your hand. And don't get me wrong, the flying is cool. I'm glad you taught me how to do that sun thing, but I was thinking of setting something on fire just so I could put it out. It's better this way, Kara. Trust me. I've seen war. I've seen what people can do to one another. I'll take boring any day. Okay, I'm kidding about the fires. Doesn't it all feel sort of stagnant? And doesn't it bother you that we're the only ones, like us? I mean, you used to fly with the JSA. Where are they now? All now. They retired. And no one rose to take their place? Why would they do that? I could do it all. It's the way things were meant to be. No conflict. What could be wrong with that? Clark, don't worry. Nothing I can't handle. And Superman, what is it? I don't know, but I'll find out. Or let me come with you. No, not yet. If I need you, I'll call. Meanwhile, tell everyone to be ready. It begun, the crisis. But this time, things will be different. We built a paradise here, and I'll be damned if I see it fail. Everyone, there's no one to call.
The Kingdom Come Wonder Woman armor.
Yep, I don't have time for this. You don't have time for anything else. You're frightening them, Kal. There are many powerful people in the world who fear that you've lost touch with mankind, that you see yourself as above them. I'm mankind, Amazon. We have our own checks and balances in place. We've done nothing but punish the guilty definitively, outside of the law. A law that's been undermined time and again by the power-hungry, the spineless. We're doing what needs to be done. Wait a minute. What people? Who have you been talking to? I don't want much. I don't want much. A small slice of a third world country and lacks labor laws, trade agreement with the U.S. Help us and put the world back into the hands of the men and women who built it, and I'll make you a ruler of Australia. Sorry, I had to go there. Australia.
There you go.
You know what the irony is? The man impressed me more than any other. He identified a problem and he dealt with it. I think he would have made a better world, but he never should have made me his peon. Deactivating the Phantom Zone barrier. Initiating OMAC enhancements. The Phantom Zone. Lucer, what have you done? Alex, Lex, I trusted you. And so it began. And good, evil, right, wrong. On Earth 2, throughout this entire universe, these aren't just words. They aren't complex concepts to be wrought over and twisted. They're the law, simplicity. I am the good, the right. Time and again, I have proven here that no problem exists that I can't handle alone. And I'll prove it again, even during this crisis. There will be no debate. No one will question my actions, especially not me. To act without doubt, what a gift he had. How in heaven's name did he mess it up? Boom! This isn't how it ends. Bones scraping like glass, shards through a red haze. I know what will come next. I will rise, fight. I inspire the rest to victory. I took care of this world. I showed him how it could be. I made a paradise and asked nothing in return. And there will be no need to ask now. It's how things work here. Simple. But as I moved to rise, I remembered something that a friend said to me once. The last time you inspired anyone was when you died.
Okay.
And I feel fear. Chomp! Earth 1. Impossible to think without tasting poison in my mouth. The proof of its corruption consumes me in a storm of rage and blood. Arming criminals, maniacs, setting them loose upon us in the hope that we will destroy each other in the desert. Only in this Kansas place could my mission to protect the innocent be misconstrued and turned into this. A hell of a party, lads. Lucer, it was the only way. He must have figured a way to baffle your telepathy. And tweak more than that, we're tearing Cairo apart. Casualties are in the thousands already. Can hardly keep the buggers and death cries out of my head. How far are we riding these pale horse, Gov? Never again. None of these monstrosities can be allowed to walk the earth. Whatever it takes, we'll get the fan zone projector in. Superman, something's happening to Belair. I made a mistake.
This is kind of like Kingdom Come.
I thought that if I were strong, and look, and he betrayed Max.
Okay.
It leads
the death of Blue Beetle from Infinite Crisis. Okay, I see.
Yep. Teach them the power and of justice and consequences. The world might be saved, but this world does not want to be saved. Cut out its cancers. It generates more of the same. More pain, more corruption. A never-ending battle raging blindly and tortuously to inevitable darkness. But I will not yield. Never. Someone has to lead them. There was never any hope for Earth 2, was there? Cradled in Power Girl's arms, feeling the skies open and the light bleed out of me, it's so clear. This place and nearly everything in it was stillborn, but kept on as if it were alive. Okay, you can so tell Joe Kelly is really trashing Earth 2.
Yeah, I'm like, dude. Okay,
a hollow thing that played at Paradise, but was doomed to a hell of its own making. It takes a week for Earth 1 to die. Every heartbeat snuffed out. 1 week, and no living thing exists on Earth but me. And I'm not sad to see it go. Not really. I know now for certain that there was nothing I could have done. Horrifying as it is, I believe this world has finally found its peace. Utter nothingness. How can a world exist only to devour itself? We have each lived a lifetime in the blink of an eye and returned to the emptiness of Earth 2. There's nothing I could have done. My heart swells with the power of truth. His world wants to die. Too complicated, too conflicted, self-loathing, and it's in him too. I almost pity him. Almost. Too blind to see that his world was a shell, empty as his black and white morality. The falseness of it all is part of his very being. He will never understand why his world cannot be allowed to survive. He will never understand why his world cannot be allowed to survive. And so it continues with a blow that shatters the world. And I pray a silent prayer to Lois, the only constant on this or any earth. That I'm doing the right thing.
That was cool. I like that.
See, so what did you think about all that?
It was, by the way, I love in the background you see Superman Red and Superman Blue, all the different Supermen fighting.
You see the Superman Kal versus the one from one of the annuals.
Yeah, I love that. And there's also Kingdom Come Superman back there.
And I think that's animated Superman, I think.
Okay. But yeah, I really dug that, how it deals with like the two different forms of the two different moralities. It pits them both in there. And the thing about it is that he was like, oh yeah, he thought he was really like, is what was so great with his black and white morality. But again, this goes back to what he says in the actual event. If it's perfect, why do you need a Superman?
Exactly. And look at what happened. If Earth 2 was so perfect, Earth 1 made it perfect. And what happened? In the end, he was the only one left. Because he was the only one. There was no one else there. And that's basically Earth 1. And the way I look at it is, Earth 2 worked because the writers didn't try to make Superman the strongest. Whereas Earth 1, you can look at it as any way I think of Earth 2 naturally, realistically would have pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Earth 1 Superman was looking at things from a realistic standpoint. Earth 2 Superman was the one living in the dream world.
It's also nice seeing an Injustice-like scenario where Wonder Woman actually acts like she would actually act in this scenario.
Yeah, well, that's because she didn't have a Nazi Steve Trevor in her
Yeah,
past.
because she wasn't evil. But I'm like, okay, thank you, because this is what would happen if Superman ever went evil. She would side with Batman.
Or the fact that Batman was on his side.
Yeah, that too. I'm like, wait a second here.
Okay,
you have contingency plans if this guy goes nuts.
The first one, the first bit, I felt how he deconstructed a lot of the burn stuff. It was good, but then it started to lose it after the death. See, but that was it. But then the fact they got Identity Crisis at the wrong point.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like the moment where they found out happened after the deaths. Not the event itself was Dr. Light. That was
again,
before the death.
Remember, Robert, this is DC editorial. We're talking about someone's always asleep at the wheel.
This was them at their strongest.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I say whenever DC editorial seems like they're at their strongest, somewhere in there they are cutting corners.
I mean, it made sense for what he did.
Yeah.
Tossing Dr. Light into the fan. But here's the thing is that he wasn't wrong initially, but you also know you couldn't write a story, have an ongoing universe where Superman just tosses villains into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, that wouldn't work, because actually it's kind of funny. Whenever we as Superman fans have conversations, we're like, we know that realistically what we would just do is throw him in the Phantom Zone. That's not a sustainable scenario here.
And not that, but again, it would be the fact they say, "Oh, they don't think," and the government said it's not cruel and it's not cruel and unusual. Of course, they're going to say it. They're terrified.
It's Superman we're dealing with.
Of course, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, do what you want, Superman. Please don't send us into the Phantom Zone too."
Yeah, I know. So of course, the government that I terrorized is on my side.
Yeah, but again, I do think, like I said earlier, Joe Kelly was clearly trashing Earth's 2 Superman. Let's be honest.
He was.
This was so trashing Earth's 2 Superman, saying that not just making him villain. I'm talking about how Earth's 2 itself saying, I get where he was going. Superman saw it. He did everything he would do on Earth, which totally smacks in the face of what Earth's 2 Superman thinks about him. Yeah. Superman from Earth 1 always did what he could.
Yeah, exactly.
Always. But he inspired it because the world worked where his inspiration would do it. And let's be honest, it is true though. Earth 2 Superman was never about inspiring. When you really think about that, being an inspiration. No, pre-crisis.
Okay.
He was never about being the inspiration.
No.
Post-crisis was.
Post-crisis was. Pre-crisis was more like, let's show how strong I am.
And that's that's him being the leader that he kept on wanting to be. But look what happened.
Yeah, you let a little too much, Superman.
Exactly, you let a little too much. Like I said, the whole him standing up after the death, it pushed it, but it wasn't. You can buy it to a degree if you look at some stipulations. But yeah, everything else, like him joining with the Elite. That was Joe Kelly just tossing the Elite in because he wrote that story.
It was cool because it makes sense for this version of Superman he created in this little Elseworld story, if you will. It makes sense that this Superman would team up with the heroes that will do whatever it takes.
But also, it's because it's Joe Kelly. He created the Elite.
It's like when Bendis threw Naomi on the Justice League.
Yeah, exactly. But again, and what do you think about the artwork throughout all this?
Oh, solid artwork. Like, so kick ass.
Yep, let me go through everyone in there. You had Ed Benes, of course, Jerry Ordway, Howard Chaykin, Renato Guedes, Tim Sale, and that was just the first issue. Then you had Dan Jurgens, Kevin Conrad, and Dick Giordano, because he was that's just on ink. Dan Jurgens, Ed Benes, Ian Churchill, Dan Derenick, Renato Guedes, Lieber Mayhew, and Doug Monkey. That was the second issue. And then the third issue was Ed Benes, Tom Derenick, Carl Kershaw, Duncan Raleigh, Dale Eaglesman, and Ed McGuinness for that one page.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's awesome.
So yeah, this exemplifies Infinite Crisis for me. Like, you have to have the story.
Yes. If anything, it should be included in the trade because really, this is the context surrounding the entire event.
Exactly. But what are you going to do, right?
Well, all right.
Oh, well, and also, sorry. Go ahead.
Now that I know this, I appreciate Infinite Crisis so much more, even more than I already did, because I like I said before, I love that storyline. I love it more because now I get the context around it.
Yep, and notice, both of them, they would think the same thing at certain points, especially when it came to Lois.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I gotta point that out there.
Hang on. I also like how here's this. So, as this is a version of Superman, if you notice, that lost his humanity, but he was still with Lois. So, I find that pretty that it's pretty cool to
because I think because his mind went differently with that one. His mind was he did it for a reason, but he was still, and I thought pre-crisis you could make the argument of he usually was just Superman the whole time anyway. So in a way, he didn't really lose Clark by revealing himself.
True that. I can see that.
Yeah, because again, this is before it was the Bronze Age, before post-crisis, where Clark's starting to have more of an importance to his life. Mm-hmm. Everything from the Golden and Silver Age, Clark was just there. He was just a disguise. He was, as Bill from Kill Bill put it, Clark Kent's commentary on humanity. Mm-hmm. But from post-crisis onward, it's when things were different.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, that's all we got to say on this one. Wait and see you see the other ones we have to go over, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.